here's Brody Brazil.
You know, it's an interesting ability we have here in modern times where you can monitor a single story and how it's covered two totally different ways across two separate regions. Case in point, the Oakland A's recently agreeing to purchase land in Las Vegas. Now, we know what they're saying about it locally here in Northern California, but what about the way this story is being covered in Southern Nevada?
All right, well, last night's announcement comes after a long sort of dance, a long process between the A's, Las Vegas, and Oakland. But in the end, it seems like the Bay Area just couldn't keep their team.
Lauren Negretti joining us live near Dean Martin and Tropicana, where that new stadium will be reportedly built. And I think, Lauren, we're going to be able to pack that stadium more than the A's have as of late.
It's not funny. It's not journalism. And I don't think you have all the facts. But continue.
We'll see. Yeah, big sports fans out here in Vegas, that's for sure. But yes, like he was saying there, right here near where the old Wild Wild West gambling hall was. Now, right now over my shoulder here, doesn't look like much, doesn't look like Major League Baseball material, but it won't be that way for long. Soon it'll be transformed into a $1 billion stadium.
If approved.
Now, moving the Athletics to Las Vegas has been a long process. Team leaders tried to get Oakland to build a new stadium for the club on the waterfront. They couldn't get a deal done. Same time, the A's scouted Las Vegas as a new home. Team officials told the AP that the team finalized a deal with Red Rock Resorts for this land last week. The new stadium will be able to hold 30 to 35,000 fans. The Nevada Independent reports the A's will be footing the bill.
Entirely?
No public money will be used.
What? I mean, the A's aren't even saying that. That's not factually correct at all. They're searching for $500 million in Southern Nevada.
Last month, we spoke to the A's first baseman Kevin Cron about the potential deal.
I think that this is an awesome city, and they really do a good product here with the Aviators. So,
did you tell him what this story was about that you're doing now? This is from last month. He had no clue that the A's had just purchased land. He's played some games for Las Vegas as an Aviator. He's literally inside their clubhouse right now. Did you think he was going to speak poorly of Las Vegas? I'm not saying this was a setup, but was there any context that you'd be playing this back now?
Whatever happens, but it's definitely a fun city to be in. It's a lively crowds, and it's if that happens, then we'll be happy to be here.
Nobody's arguing that it's a fun place to go to. People visit there all the time, and I don't think he's speaking for everybody.
The A's hope to break ground next year, hope to move into their new home by 2027. We don't know where they will be playing while it's being constructed here. Now, the A's...
That's kind of a big question, isn't it?
Really be the only second MLB team in half a century to be moving cities here. Of course, our sports team will have more on this developing story later on today for 8 News Now. For now, live near Dean Martin and Tropicana, Lauren Negretti, 8 News Now.
I mean, the Aviators outdraw the Oakland A's. I think there's more rats watching the Oakland Athletics than people right now.
Well,
dude, are you serious? I'm pretty sure that wasn't written in your script. Like, just stick to the teleprompter, okay? You're probably better off. That is ridiculous.
we've got a lot for the Aviators. And speaking of course, there are 3 other baseball teams out there that have the minor league franchise within the city. So it's doable.
That's right.
If that is the possibility.
Definitely.
Thanks, Lauren. Appreciate it. Nate, over.
Okay, let's move on.
It's a sleepy plot of land now, but details are emerging about what a potential new A's ballpark in Las Vegas could look and feel like.
With their attention turned to a site west of the Strip, A's officials point to a ballpark and surrounding development.
Whoa, that really is a dirt pile.
Example, nearly 2,000 miles east of it as a potential
That says danger right there.
model.
Not only can we do the actual stadium, which I think is going to be amazing and iconic, but we can also do a ballpark village around it, kind of like the Battery in Atlanta or Petco Park in San Diego.
The Battery is a mixed-use development that includes Truist Park, home of the Atlanta Braves since 2017.
By the way, most every new MLB facility, and even sports complex in general, has a village of some sort surrounding it. That's the whole point of this story, is that they'll do what everybody else has been doing.
The stadium is surrounded by shops, restaurants, concert venues, office space, and apartments. Kevin Reichard, publisher of Ballpark Digest, raves about it.
Oh, it's a great ballpark. It is, one of the best in baseball.
We're talking about Atlanta here, not Las Vegas yet, or what the A's were planning in Oakland, but continue.
It was a pioneer in that, mixed-use districts were not common in the baseball world.
The mixed-use concept, what the A's have called an incentive package, is where a tax district surrounds a stadium. Tax dollars collected there would usually go to help pay back bonds over time used to finance ballpark construction.
That's exactly what was planned at Howard Terminal.
If you're going to spend $500 million to attract the A's, and then you get all this ancillary development, is it possible, I'm just throwing this out as a possibility, that you could spend 20% of that to get everything else without the stadium?
Reporting in Las Vegas for Channel 13, I'm Brian Horwath.
Okay, and I'm lost on what that was all about. Let's move on to the next story.
The Las Vegas Valley has been called the land of transplants. Some, like Cisco Ortega, are from the Oakland Bay Area.
The Oakland Bay Area?
Being a Bay Area native and growing up, going to games at the Coliseum, kind of hurts.
For Cisco, the Oakland ballpark holds
I appreciate the honesty.
memories of him attending games with his son.
I have pictures of us at the A's game years ago.
But now that the team has an agreement to purchase 49 acres at Tropicana and Polaris, he says a piece of his childhood and his son's childhood will be in their hearts as the two make new memories here in the Valley.
If all is past.
Actually, my son texted me a little while ago, and he was like, sad face. He goes, but more games in Vegas we can go to. So he's on the fence.
Again, I appreciate that.
He sees the good part of it.
I hear in the news this morning, hey, we're going to have the A's in town. I was like, what? So that's so cool.
Miguel Vargas says he can't wait to add another major team.
Was he just a casual pedestrian on the street that we found to interview and put on television?
The Valley.
With my friends that they are here in town for vacation, so it was like, we should go and take pictures like we did for the Allegiant Stadium. Let's do it because this is going to be awesome.
If you're shocked, you've been under a rock because the buzz has been for the last couple of years.
That's true.
A rock is right.
A shot of a rock. Oh, that's fantastic.
This time last year, a national feud played out between Oakland and Vegas after former Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf made these eye-raising comments.
Been in the gross desert of Las Vegas.
Thursday morning, Mayor...
You played the smallest clip ever of that from a long time ago, but proceed. She's not the mayor anymore, and...
Goodman tweeting out that the not-so-gross Valley only needs the NBA and MLS for a full house.
Gambling references, okay.
Even Los Angeles Dodger fans like Miguel say maybe it's time to embrace the new guys in town.
I'm
Okay,
really
but you did
excited.
say you're not an Oakland A's fan.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
But I could be, things can change,
That's true.
I just listen also that they're not doing great, so probably this change from Oakland to Vegas, it's going to be a positive change.
That they'll win more games or get different players? Just the location's going to change things? All right. I think this is a more insightful interview. Let's play this one here. Go ahead, buddy.
All right, we're joined here now by Las Vegas Aviators president Don Logan to talk a little bit about the impact on the Aviators, but also on the A's coming here.
Now, this is important, right? If the A's might relocate early to go to Las Vegas before 2027, where would they play? Probably right there at Las Vegas Ballpark.
Aviators, of course, the AAA affiliate of the now soon-to-be Las Vegas A's.
A little bit ahead of the story here, or not? Okay, go ahead.
So there is a gap here because the lease agreement with the Oakland Coliseum ends after the 2024 season. That's a 2-year gap before the 2027 season begins and the stadium's done. Will the A's be playing here in this ballpark where the Aviators currently play?
We've talked about that from the beginning of this whole process, and it is doable, but it's going to take some changes here.
I was under the impression that there was an agreement in place with the Aviators, and here's their president saying it's doable. So maybe he just failed to mention that. Maybe I've got it wrong. I'm confused on if there's something intact here, but let's let Don proceed.
The grass, you can't play 156 games on grass.
156 games? What's he mean by that? And you can't play on grass, so what would you play on?
Desert. So we'd have to convert to an artificial surface. That's certainly doable. We've got
artificial turf, outside, day games, Las Vegas, summertime.
Some back of the house issues. We probably need to add a locker room, which may require building something across the street.
Building a clubhouse across the street?
There's just, you've got that many people around here all the time. And then we do have an issue with the height of the light standards here. We probably have to raise those, but nothing that's insurmountable.
In terms of the Aviators, Dave Cavill has been very adamant that they're not going anywhere, that both teams can exist. Is that what you're expecting? The AAA baseball will remain out here in Summerlin?
That's what we would like this to have happen, I think.
That's where he gets the 156 games. 81 plus 70 something. Is my math right there? So they're thinking, they're hoping that the A's and Aviators would share that stadium at some point until something new is built in 27.
We've worked too hard and have developed such a great following here.
They don't want to move out.
And what we do at the AAA level is much different than what happens at the Major League level. The Silver Knights and the Golden Knights prove that. So at this point, anything's possible. We've kind of taken an approach through this that we're going to cross the bridges when we get to them. And now we're at a bridge. We got to cross it and we'll get to the next one and figure it out.
I like his approach to this. But it seems like there's a lot of things to sort out, and I appreciate his honesty.
You've been around Las Vegas and Nevada your entire life. You've been around baseball your entire life. The fact that we are now on the verge of becoming a Major League Baseball city, what does it say about this community who's really always been a baseball town?
I'm not doubting it, but
I like that. I really believe and have said many times this is a baseball-first community. It's proven by the number of players we have playing professionally in college, guys from high schools here to CSN to UNLV. The numbers staggering, way more than any other sport. So baseball definitely has it's got an affinity to this market unlike any other.
All right, Don Logan, president of the Aviators. We're going to be seeing and hearing a lot from him here in the coming months as the process happens for the A's relocating to Southern.
The process happens, right? It's not happened yet. The process happens. Okay, let's move to the next story.
And this stadium would become the third sporting venue within a 2-mile radius. That means an increase in traffic, but also business. Our Alyssa Bethencourt visited the area to get reaction to this proposed development.
At Tripping, tattoos, football and hockey game days mean big business for the artist inside, like Chris Foltz.
It's a good time. There's a lot of people that come through here for tattoos.
I didn't know people got tatted up on, specifically on game days. I didn't know that was a thing.
The shop is located just a half.
That has nothing to do with any of this, by the way. I was just curious.
Mile away from Allegiant Stadium, a 1.5 miles from T-Mobile Arena, and would almost be next door to what could soon be the new home of the Oakland A's. On Wednesday, it was announced that the franchise is zeroing in on Las Vegas. Ownership signed an agreement for 49 acres of land at Dean Martin Drive and Tropicana Avenue, with hopes to build a state-of-the-art Major League ballpark. While the move is sure to be a home run for baseball fans in Las Vegas, it'll also have a major impact on local businesses and possibly property values.
What we do see happening, and a lot of the research suggests this is true, is the land becomes worth more.
Nick Irwin is a professor at UNLV specializing in urban economics. He says anytime there's a new project of this magnitude, it has both advantages and disadvantages. While property values in the immediate vicinity of the stadium are likely to rise, those in other areas of the city may not see that same level of growth.
If prices do go up, then it would push some people out of the area, of course. It could also lead to more commercial activity in the area as well.
Irwin says it's hard to know the true impact of a project until years after it's been built. As for traffic in the area,
I already know the traffic's going to be smashed.
County Commissioner Jim Gibson says transportation and neighborhood development issues will be resolved before breaking ground.
All of that will will be under review. We will not sign off on anything that does not accommodate the traffic.
Despite these potential challenges, the A's move to Las Vegas represents a major opportunity for the city to further establish itself as a top sports and entertainment destination. Reporting west of the Las Vegas Strip, I'm Melissa Bethencourt.
And so I think an important takeaway from that is just that there are still some unresolved things in planning and preparation. Like, they've purchased the land, the A's have, but the rest of this is still also new and unfigured out yet. And so when you do a story like that, you don't even have all the details yet to go on. I don't think that one was bad by any means. I think that was actually one of the more fairer angles and approaches entirely. Let's go to the next one here.
And the Oakland A's are getting closer to relocating to Las Vegas. Good evening and thanks for joining us live at 4:30. I'm Trish Keene.
And I'm Abel Garcia. The A's have reached an agreement to acquire 49 acres of land near Dean Martin and Tropicana in hopes of building a new baseball stadium. But the big question is, who's going to pay for it?
I mean, okay. They're asking a question.
The A's have found a plot of land in Las Vegas big enough for a new $1.5 billion stadium. While the team has said it would put up $1 billion, the clock is now ticking to finalize the details of funding for the remaining balance.
This has to be done in a way that actually benefits the people that live here, that they see some profit out of it.
Clark County Commissioner Michael Naft represents the area where the stadium is being considered. He says he has been talking to the A's for 2 years about this project.
He's been talking to the A's for 2 years about this project.
But who would pay the tab for approximately $500 million needed to bring the team to Las Vegas?
$500 million, by the way, reportedly in tax credits that would go to the A's if they build this stadium. That's what the A's are hoping to get out of this deal.
The A's are figuring that out. A team of registered lobbyists, including A's president Dave Cavil, has been on the ground in Carson City during this current legislative session. That session ends June 5th.
That's an important part of all this. There's about 6 weeks left, a little more than 6 weeks left to secure $500 million of tax credits.
Working closely with the state of Nevada as well as Clark County on an incentive package that can be combined with the private investment.
But if public funds are used, finance experts say sales tax revenue and fees passed on to the consumer could be used to repay the money.
Why do we need to pay for that?
I mean, again, the news has found just a casual person just probably at a supermarket or wherever that shopping center in the background was. And, hey, can we talk to you about this? What's your opinion on this? Similar to the other person who just happened to be wandering past the proposed site. How do you feel about this? Anyway, I always feel the randomness of interviews that are taken seriously. It's just weird. Yeah.
Why is that our responsibility?
I mean, I'm not discounting what she's saying. I'm just telling you that here's somebody with probably zero background on the bigger picture being asked about this.
You know, our funding should go for schooling and things like that.
Well, I mean, she's not wrong about that, but
Las Vegas resident Lori Hayes says this is not the best way to use our tax dollars. Sports fan Curtis Matuda says otherwise.
I wouldn't mind paying a little bit, to help out, to, bring something so exciting in the city.
Commissioner Naft says Clark County locals like Lori and Curtis shouldn't worry about a new taxation.
This is largely about utilizing any new taxes that are coming from that stadium district.
Naft says if the state is going to invest, we want to get a return on our money.
We are thriving. We're doing well. This is the market where if you're in business, if you're a sports franchise, or if you're doing anything else, you want to be here.
And sources tell Channel 13 the team needs a financial deal in place to get approval from the MLB.
But that's also true, right? It needs to be lined up before you can apply for relocation.
Move to Las Vegas. Without it, they could pull out of the purchase agreement for the stadium site.
Did you hear that? Without the tax credit, they could pull out of the purchase of the stadium site. Now, that's what I've heard too, and that's what they're reporting here on the ABC affiliate. To be honest, I've maybe criticized some things in the prior coverage, but this little clip I'm playing you here, this seems to be the most accurate, and fair coverage I've seen of it from their side.
MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred told reporters he supports the A's relocation. There are 45 days left in Nevada's current legislative session.
45 days, there you go.
And the question now is, where would the team play if and when they say goodbye to the Oakland Coliseum? The A's president says it could be the Las Vegas ballpark.
You know, we have an arrangement with the Aviators.
Seeing that's I wasn't sure about that. The Aviators president didn't really seem to say that there was an agreement, but Dave Cavill is saying that there is. So maybe there's a miscommunication, or I don't know. But
to stay if and when the A's relocate to Southern Nevada.
Oh, so for the Aviators to stay at their current site. Okay.
Two teams sharing the Las Vegas ballpark could have its challenges, and that needs the green light from Major League Baseball. President and CEO of the Las Vegas Aviators, Don Logan, says some retrofitting would also need to happen.
We've got to do a couple things with the park to make it more Major League ready. These light standards need to be 10 to 20 feet higher.
Let me guess, a clubhouse needs to be added too.
Playing 150 games.
Oh, the grass needs to be made artificial.
On grass field here would be tough. We'd have to convert to artificial. Probably have to add a locker room somewhere. That's easier said than done.
I just knew what he was going to say, right? That's cheating on my part.
And while the stadium deal is still in the works, the A's hope to break ground next year with first pitch in 2027.
And there's a lot more to be ironed out on the A's Stadium project, but we do know a little about what a potential facility could look like. As Brian Horwath reports, a ballpark here could mirror some designs from other major league cities.
It's a sleepy plot of land.
We already saw this story, I think so. Okay, we've cycled back to the very first one, so we're done with the Las Vegas coverage. Again, most things, fine, I guess. Just very pedestrian, literally. Some things reported entirely incorrectly. A lot of it presumed to be done when it might eventually get done, but it's not done yet. So I thought that was an interesting look at the way Las Vegas is covering this. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Thumbs up on the video if you liked it, and don't forget, subscribe to the channel. See you next time.